Hello, here I am with a little Monday Magic Live for you all. And this is going to be my last live until January. And I'm not going to be here on January 2nd. So, whatever the week after January, I'll be back with Monday Lives. But anyway, this is the last one for this season. So, I am inviting you to take a deep breath for a minute and allow yourself to feel this liminal space, this sacred waiting place between years. I really feel that threshold sensation very palpably in the air, as well as the call to cave time, which we've been talking about today in the Facebook group. And I'm going to carry that theme through in posts in the on Patreon in the remainder of the month. But go ahead and take a deep breath and let yourself sense that threshold time, that waiting place. And I also encourage you to let whatever you feel right now be okay. I notice in myself that I often try to fix myself at this time of year. I don't know if it's that energy of the, new year, new you, or just the sensation of needing to wrap things up that makes me feel like, okay, it's, time for me to be transformed or whatever it is, or the fact that the pace of life starts to feel like a little too fast for me as well. Whatever it is, I notice in myself, I feel this urge to kind of, fix myself. Oh, even like financially, you're like, I want to fix the finances. I want to get the taxes. I want to do the inventory. Like you want to fix it. And so this year, I'm allowing myself to kind of sit with that urge to fix it and let that be okay. Like, how about we let however it is we feel be okay, whether we are lonely or anxious or joyful or celebratory or grateful, whatever it is that you feel right now, what happens if you take a pause, take a breath, and let yourself just feel how you feel right now and let it be okay. No need to fix it, no need to force it, no need to change it. It's okay the way it is. Yeah. So, I have a couple of little stories to share today for Monday Magic, for Monday encouragement. And one just happened like two of them are from last week, but one of them is from today, which is look what I found. Look at that. Another antler. Yay. It has a little bit of a skull on it. And it's very old. It's obviously been around for a really long time, and I have to confess that I didn't exactly find it. I was on our morning walk this morning and I looked over across the neighbor's field and I spotted an antler-like shape sitting on a stump over there. And I was like, that is an antler. Like I know an antler when I see it, and that's got to be an antler. And he must have found it and stuck it on the stump. And I wanted to go and get it, and Mark wouldn't let me go get it because we would be trespassing, and he is ethically good, as am I. Usually am really good about trespassing too. But I was like, he wouldn't have left it on the stump if he really wanted it. It's okay. And it's right there, like where we can see it while we're walking just across the field. And Mark was like, no, like we can't do that. We can't go get the antler. And I was like, I will sneak back in the dead of night and take the antler, with a black ski mask on. And we said no. So I didn't go get it. And even though I wanted it. And then when I got back home, I just sent the neighbor a little Facebook message and I said, hey, I spy an antler. Is that a trap for trespassers? Because you almost caught me. And he said, no, it's not a trap for trespassers and you can totally have it. Go, feel free to go back and get it. So I went running back down the road and collected my antler. So I still feel like I found it. Yay! I still feel like I found it, but really the neighbor found it and put it on the stump. And then I found where he put it. So anyway, that's my little magic from today that really made me happy. I'm very, very excited about it. It's a nice big one. And then the other two stories are just kind of metaphors or little learning moments. And one of them is that last week we went out to dinner with the kids. My son had a final exam and we met him and then went to a Christmas train show sort of thing, which was actually not very good. But we went to see that in town and we went out to dinner first. And the kids wanted, it's a place called Lucky House, which is like Chinese kind of, not fast food. I mean, it's anyway, it's a local restaurant. It's not like a chain, a fast food chain, but it has a drive-through and it's like fast Chinese food. And the kids had really been wanting to go get it. And so they talked us into going to Lucky House. We went to Lucky House and we were in the drive-through, and the portions are like big. You can get a big serving or you can get a half serving. And Mark was like, well, we should just get the big serving and then we can split it. And I was looking at the menu and I didn't want what he wanted to get, even though it made sense to get the big serving and split it. And instead of just getting the big serving and splitting it, I said, I really want the coconut shrimp instead. And so I got what I wanted. And that is not like, maybe that doesn't sound like earth shaking, but when you're kind of like a practical person and when you're a parent and you have a bunch of kids and you don't necessarily want to spend a bunch of money on the food that you're eating, it would have been a lot easier for me to just say, okay, let's get that and split it. And there was something that felt important to have said, and Mark's super cooperative. It's not like he would have split coconut shrimp with me if I'd insisted on having coconut shrimp. I often get my way, so to speak, in our relationship. And but like the sensibleness said, get what he says he wants and split it, and that's what makes sense. And instead I was like, I want the coconut shrimp, and so I got what I wanted, and I'm like, it's important, and that's a small tiny little experience, but it's important to both ask for what we want and to be okay with having what we want instead of being practical all the time. So that was my first little lesson. And then my second one is that we went to a workshop this weekend together. We went with my mom, and also there's a couple of friends of mine who happened to be there as well. But we went to this wild edibles native foraged edibles cooking class at a state park, and the class was taught by a bat biologist, actually, who's an expert in bat biology and does the Missouri cave census, but she's also a forager and a wild edibles expert in her spare time. And so she taught this class. It was free and it was wonderful. It was so good. And we almost didn't go because we have too much to do. There's a ton of things to do to get the shop ready to close, but also to not only to get the shop ready to close, but to get ready to go to the beach like we do in January. So there's like too much to do, so to speak. And so it would have been really easy. And the class was free, so there was like no investment on our part. It would have been really easy for us to back out. And even on the way there, Mark said, like, I reserve the right to give you a signal and like say we need to run away because it isn't any good or whatever. Because we had this bad experience with the Christmas train last week before the Lucky House experience, and it was so bad that we were like, what if this foraging class is bad too? Anyway, instead it was so good. It was the greatest class. I just loved it. I can't wait to do another one. And we had so much fun, and we got done early, so we still got home. Like, they let us out at 1 instead of 3, so we still got home and we still had time to do other things that day after all. And I was so glad that I didn't let the tolling to-do list of too much to do keep me from doing something that was really enriching and rewarding and was very different. Like, it has nothing to do with our business and it had nothing to do with, getting stuff done. It was only enrichment, and it was so good. And I'm so glad that we went to it and let that space. So get what you want, listen to yourself, and let yourself have fun and do things that are objectively, non-productive, because they have value too. So that was my other little message and lesson for the week, for the day. And as I noted, there's no more lives until January. I did want to also say that I do have posts scheduled at Patreon actually all the way through the first week of February. And so I won't necessarily seem absent to you because I've scheduled all those things to carry forward. Today I just made the January practice update for 30 Days of Goddess. I updated the website. I'm getting the newsletter ready. I'm doing a lot of advanced work kind of behind the scenes so that I can have this break, which sometimes is like, oh my gosh, how much work do I have to do to earn a break? But it's also the realities of being self-employed and loving what I do and loving to share it and wanting to have everybody have everything that they need to feel supported and nourished. And so, what was I saying? Oh, so I have posts scheduled at Patreon, really from like this point all the way through the first week of February. And so I will still be there, energetically speaking, but in reality, the Etsy shop's going to be closed. I'm going to be taking a social media break, and I hope to be taking kind of a technology break in general. So I won't really be out there scheduling patron posts. I just got them ready for you in advance. And so they're all there and set up. And then the other thing I wanted to mention or reinforce, this is getting a little long, but the other thing I wanted to mention and reinforce is something we talked about during the Simple and Sacred Live Winter Solstice Circle last week, and the replay is already posted on Patreon for you of that. But in it, I mentioned that the three gifts of this season are to listen, to wonder, and to be content. And I wanted to remind you of that little lesson and also encourage you to take those 13 days between the solstice and January 6th as an opportunity to embody and inhabit and breathe and love those gifts, to listen, to wonder, and be content. So may you listen, wonder, and be content. May you celebrate a beautiful solstice and a happy new year. And I hope you have time to sit with those gifts of the season, to listen, to wonder, and to be content. And then I wanted to leave you today with a somewhat new, or well, I mean, it is new. I wrote it on the 11th, so that was yesterday. Somewhat new. That was yesterday. I wanted to share this poem with you in closing, a little closing message, so to speak, or blessing for you. So, deep breath, and possibly a hand on your heart. Don't push, don't force. Take a deep breath and a slow exhale. Let it be easy, even if just for this breath. This is a time for joy and for restoration, for connection and retreat, a time of contemplation and reflection where we step into the liminal, a sacred waiting place before the birth of something precious. This is a time for the comfort of warm fires and hot tea and cozy sweaters, a time for icicles and for awe. It is a time to settle down, to gather together the threads of your year, your life, to see the bright threads and the gray threads, the smooth swaths and the bumpy places. It is a time to run your hands over what you've created and what you've done with appreciation and with acceptance. A time to honor your commitments and celebrate your successes and release your disappointments. A time to say, this is good, this is enough, and to sit back smiling, satisfied with what you hold. It is a time to trust the liminal and to savor the pause. Soon enough, you'll be invited to step forward across the threshold into a new year and all its possibilities. For now, we wait, we listen, we wonder, we are content. Thank you so much for being here. Happy solstice, happy new year, and I will see you again in a couple of weeks. May we listen, may we wonder, and may we be content. So the 9th, just January 9th, I'll be back. But I will still hopefully be doing my social media break and just pop in for a little minute, but won't have those apps on my phone or anything. So anyway, many blessings to you, and may you have a magical and enchanting and powerful week, and may you discover treasures wherever you go. Thanks for being here. Bye bye.